Good.
Gert. Gerd.
Good. Yeah.
Would appear technical complications have been solved. Alright. So this is Nick Plessis with EGM.
And Josh Harmon, also with EGM.
Also with EGM.
We thought it would be appropriate to play a little bit of God of War because Nick likes to carry me around on his back like a backpack.
I do. Josh is Atreus in this example, if you didn't pick that up. And we're trying the Give Me God of War mode, which I only tested like up until this point. If for those that you don't know, this is super early in the game.
Yeah, so
Like,
not a lot of spoilers.
No, and that's one reason we thought maybe avoid some of the later game stuff, since it's been out for a while. But you know, everyone takes their own time with.
Like, we don't want to show you
games.
Kratos dying.
Right, yeah, or Atreus dying, or, you know, like all the deaths. Everyone dies, in case you didn't know. I'm just gonna do this for about an hour, so, oh jeez. Man, they do a obscene amount of damage.
Yeah, and these are the lowest level enemies.
Right, this is like, I think the second fight in the entire game.
Yeah, so Give Me God of War is the hardest difficulty at the moment. They might patch in one where you die if you die once, who knows.
Right.
But, it's supposed to be like an absurd challenge.
There you go.
As you can see.
As you can see, gotta get in the zone.
It is an absurd challenge.
Right. I think, and from what little I've done, the thing that I think makes it so unreasonably so the enemies have obscene amounts of health, and it turns your PS4 into a chainsaw. Holy hell!
Yeah, I hope you can't hear that.
Yeah, that is this game does some damage to your PS4, even if you have a Pro. So what makes this difficult is more of the fact that the enemies have tons of health, you don't do a whole lot of damage, and you take a lot of damage. But beyond that, enemies regenerate health if you don't kill them quickly enough. At least these guys. I'm not 100% the rest of the enemy types because I haven't fought them yet. But these guys, if you leave them too long by themselves, they'll regenerate all the health you just took off. Man. Oh man. There we go. Gotta find
Gotta get that rhythm.
Yeah, I gotta get that rhythm. So it's like you have to focus one of them, but if the rest of them swarm you, and you also can't let them at your back, it's fun stuff all the way around.
And I'm noticing, actually I don't know for sure, but does it still, in your experience, telegraph when they're going to hit you with the yellow circles and the red circles?
Yeah, so yeah, you can see them a little bit. I don't know if they're the same. Okay, to me, I got the vibration that hit my shield, but also went through it, so maybe...
I think the angle was wrong.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe, and that brings up an interesting question. I wonder if the arc of their attack, is an arc of damage or one defined point.
I'm sure that it's... This game, it's probably based on whether or not the actual sword contacts your character model.
Yeah. That would explain, that would explain what just happened there.
Advanced game, and because so much stuff with your weapon, I mean, there are definitely some attacks that Kratos uses with his axe where it's clearly like there's just like a magic ray of damage that comes out in front. But since the game is like throwing it and stuff, it seems to be very...
I wasn't even done attacking that guy and he got all his health back. Holy hell. Yeah, see, like that didn't really hit my shield, but it blocked it anyways, so it seems like sometimes it's generous, sometimes it's not. Okay, these guys are getting their health back before I'm even done with my combo. I don't understand.
Well, I have it on good authority that Tim Rogers of Kotaku.com did beat the game on this difficulty.
Did he?
So maybe you just need
Maybe I'm just not good enough, yeah.
Get good.
Is he, did he review it on that, do you know? Or?
No, I don't think he reviewed it on that difficulty. I think I just saw that he mentioned offhand.
Right.
That he had beaten it on this difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, some of the later game challenges, I can't even imagine. Like, I literally cannot imagine what that's like.
Yes.
Like,
not to get spoilery, but the women that you're forced to beat up seem like they would be very, very difficult.
There's an excessive amount of domestic abuse in this game.
Which is weird because your wife is dead at the start.
Yeah, right? Yeah. You don't waste any time.
I guess unless that's how she died, in which case it's a very dark game.
Yeah, really, jeez. And honestly, one of the trickiest things about playing the amount of the game that I have and coming back, I need that health, and coming back to this difficulty this stage of the game is like I'm trying to do combos that I had in the late game that I just don't have anymore, and it's very much throwing me off.
Yeah, for sure. Because I've basically platinumed the game. I have basically done all there is to do except maybe upgrading some of the higher level armor. But I can't even imagine. Oh. All right. Well, now I'm gonna drive now, and presumably we're gonna give up and go back to Nick's other save file.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how long this lasts. This is certainly not a type of difficulty you want to try while also keeping up a conversation.
Talking, getting frustrated.
That's
how early we are. Is that it's still tutorializing us.
Yeah, this is definitely a 100% focus type mode. Josh is just gonna cheese throwing attacks.
I'm gonna cheese this entire game on difficulty. Oh man, yeah. It seems like they might not stun quite as easily.
Yeah,
as
no,
I don't know if that's just because the enemies don't stun as much, or I have like upgrades that allow me to stun them better.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and they attack you out of rhythm, so you can't even finish a combo before another one comes up. And see that one you got almost all the way down.
Yeah.
Just gained, yeah.
Oh, all right. I'll give it one more try, and then I think we're gonna rule this too difficult to enjoy.
You give it one more try. I'll take another crack at it, and then we'll.
All right.
Oh.
Because this seems like every single fight is gonna take us.
Right. Yeah.
15 minutes, even if we weren't dying. All right.
Yeah, I mean the very first fight in the game is like 3 of these guys, and I think they're even weaker than because these guys I think are level 2 and they're level 1. And it took me, 5 minutes.
Some of them are level 1, some of them are level 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it is, they were... Corey Barlog was... Not Balrog. Was not joking when he said this is, definitely the difficulty. Whoop!
Yeah, I didn't even see that guy. This is one thing that I've encountered, and it's kind of interesting. I don't think it's, like, the end of the world.
Man.
Yeah, it's hard to talk and play at the same time.
It is, yeah.
I would much rather feel good about myself and show us off
show us some
kicking
fancy,
some butt late game stuff.
Were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that there's a few times in fights when, because the camera is so close to Kratos, if you have it angled, if you have it angled at a certain point, somebody will just sneak up on you by hiding behind Kratos.
Yeah, in the prior to this, I was playing one of the end game challenge modes where you have to avoid taking damage at all, and man, talking and trying to do this is definitely a challenge.
Especially because we're playing without sound at the moment.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, end game challenge mode. Yeah, where you had to avoid taking any damage at all, and so a lot of times it had us a couple projectile based enemies, and
I thought you were blogging that.
I did too. Yeah. And sometimes the projectile will be okay. You know, maybe the talking is just too much. Maybe some people can do that, but we're not professional streamers here. So
we're not ninja yet.
Yeah, we might be admitting defeat just to give something a little more interesting than 5 generic draugrs on screen at all times.
I will say that it's called Get Good, not We Are Already Good.
Right. Yeah. It's a process. We're all in a process here together, learning and growing together. So this is my latest save. So just
minor
if you're
spoilers.
if you're with us, moderate spoilers, just because playing past a certain point in this game, there's a spoiler basically right next to screen at all times. Not much you can do about it. So
if you not haven't played, you want to go in completely dark.
Yeah.
Maybe stop watching, but leave the thing open so you still get ad revenue.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. We want all that sweet views. But yeah, I mean, if you're not,
just walk away from your computer.
Yeah. If you're that big of a God of War fan, you should have gotten to that point in the campaign by now, anyways.
Yeah, but this is, to be clear, this is not story content.
Right.
We're gonna be showing. This is optional side challenge content.
For those that you don't know, this is the, how do you pronounce it? Muspelheim. Basically like a challenge tower with a couple zones with like different combat conditions.
I'm pretty sure that this is where Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan had the fight in episode 3.
Yeah, I think that's canon.
I think it's all part of the same universe.
Right, yeah. I mean, that makes as much sense as God of War 3 being part of the same universe as this. For for anyone that finished God of War 3, and this is something I talked about with the developers in interviews. It's like, okay, Kratos kills the god of the sea, the god of the sun. These are things that aren't exclusive to Greece. These are kind of worldwide elements. How is it that they aren't also destroyed in other parts of the world? And really, not even parts of the world that are that far away. Scandinavia at this time and Greece is walking distance. Like it's
presumably as far as I can tell, the gods of Greece were just in charge of the sun for Greece.
For Greece, yeah.
They had their own sun.
Right. Okay.
We didn't know this.
Yeah.
Presumably, the reason why we're all unified now is because Kratos or Atreus, throughout the rest of the series, will just kill all the other gods, so there'll only be one left.
Yeah.
And then that person gets to control everything.
What the hell? I've never seen these. What is happening?
Oh, you've seen these enemies before.
These exploding ones? I've never seen these before.
Those definitely show up in the story.
I don't know.
I just don't think you were paying enough attention.
Clearly not. Clearly I wasn't the right one to review this, I guess.
They have that attack if you're not looking at them where they can jump on your back. No.
Really?
Nothing? I don't know where they showed up. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I wouldn't say anyway because it's a spoilerino.
No spoiler territory.
Ooh. That is.
And I fought one of these ice guys, but they're definitely not
the ice
super
revenant?
common. Yeah, the ice.
I think they're ice women, Nick. I think you should be less
fair,
sexist.
Yeah. I mean, no, you're right. Ooh, oh, good lord. Oh.
I think the Revenant are women.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I didn't see a Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Yeah, I mean,
so
you don't want to assume. Those, I definitely have never seen these guys
I don't know. Maybe
before.
I just fought him here, and that's where I remember him from. But so, how much of all the side content have you done at this point?
Basically all of it, excluding about, I would maybe argue, half of the collectible stuff. But apart from that, basically, yeah, all sci. I mean, I'm working on this, and can't block that. And for anyone, the women that you domestic violence later in the game, I'm on the final woman. For those who, and.
I feel like we're making it more uncomfortable by not spoiling it.
Right, yeah. Basically, okay, I don't think it's any secret that a game set in Scandinavian myth has Valkyries in it. So I think we can safely.
And probably if you've heard anything about this game, you've probably heard how tough those fights are.
Right, yeah. They're extremely hard, and there's one at the end of the game after you do the rest that is particularly challenging. And I have, after doing all of the rest of them, I got to that point, did it like once, and I was like, wow, I need a break from this. So, oh no. Crap.
This is a good way to show off, though, how many different enemy types there are. And
this challenge mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think that's something that is maybe easy to not appreciate about this game. But there's definitely a lot of variety in how enemies engage with you.
Right.
And because I recently played through, I don't know, maybe like half of God of War 3. I think that I had actually already beaten it, but I just didn't remember. So I was like, I'll play God of War. And then I was like, oh no, I already did all this. It's very familiar.
Yeah.
Very forgettable. But God of War 3, God of War Ascension, like the last cracks they took at the combat, there are usually like a couple enemies that actually feel interesting and different. But for the most part, you're not changing the way you engage with anything.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like this game has a ton of variety.
Yeah, the old games, they use combos they use kind of like a wide spectrum of like combo moves and weapon variety to give the combat some to put variety in the combat as a whole. But this game, it's more about how like very individual simple elements engage with the wide variety of enemies that there are and how you deal with them,
Yeah.
They're all kind of very unique.
Yeah, and it's rare that you run into enemies where a specific type of attack doesn't work on them.
Right.
Like, you usually have different approaches that you can take. Some are just more effective. It's just, it's really smartly designed combat. I think it does a really great job of building up because you're going to use some higher level combos and abilities for these weapons. But it does a pretty good job of, like, starting with a very basic grammar of how you use that axe.
Yeah.
And then building up from there.
All right. Failed.
You failed?
Yep.
Really?
This was a timed one.
Oh man, I might here. I'm just gonna see what armor you have equipped.
Yeah, this was based on the previous challenge of not taking damage. So,
because I'm just gonna go with
the one I did, the Fury of the Ice Troll that I just did. I didn't know you could charge that.
You have like 1 billion XP. I'm gonna level this
up. Oh yeah, no, do what you.
I have to do my build, otherwise nothing's gonna make any sense to me.
Yeah. I feel like. What do you use? You didn't equip it. You just.
I know I can't equip it because it's still cooling down.
Oh right. What do you use?
My go-to is still cooling down. All right. Now you get to watch me run in circles.
Starting. No, that's interesting because the previous challenge, and this is something I really liked about it, failing instantly recharged everything.
Oh no! I forgot. If I do this, it will charge everything.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Starting the right. I couldn't. Or no,
remember. That recharges your health. I guess it's not recharging the runic. But if I did actually start it, it would let me.
Right. I couldn't remember if it was failing the challenge or restarting the next challenge. I knew recharged everything.
But I think no. This is not what I do. I do this.
Really? That's like the first one.
I know. I got really used to it because it's a stun attack that's pretty much a guaranteed stun on anyone.
Right, yeah.
Still waiting for the cooldown, huh? All right.
Yeah, I suppose the
so
cast.
This is by far my favorite.
I use that. I use that a lot. Yeah. I have quite a lot of them maxed out just because reviewing it, I wanted to get a variety. And that's, I would say, arguably my favorite axe heavy runic. Like that is brutally good.
I actually really didn't use any except the wolf one.
The crows, right? I thought it was sparrow, but yeah, murder crows is really good.
So I'll try that out.
It's the best crowd control, I would argue. I mean, granted, I don't know if I used every single one of them, but I used most of them, and that's the one I noticed is just best for like dealing with huge surrounding people.
All right, so this is time based.
This one's time based, 4 minutes. Yeah, and I didn't even realize until I was like halfway through. I have my sensitivity a little high too. I don't know what you play on, but.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
That's that
I've never seen that happen before.
Alright. Where did that?
It's nice being able to get hit though.
Yes, it certainly is nice being able to get hit more than once.
Yeah. Holy hell. That was definitely, I mean, granted I have only fought the Valerie Queen once, but apart from her, that was definitely the single hardest thing I had to do in this game. Like that was insane.
Oh, just trying to start and taking on basic 1-level enemies? Yeah, I can't
No, not
oh.
God of War mode. The
previous challenge.
Previous challenge of this where you avoid getting hit. Honestly, I think that was harder than the Give Me God of War mode. I think after getting the rhythm in Give Me God of War, I could get it down, but another thing is after reviewing this, one of the backtracking for a second. One of the many things I love about this game is the rhythm you develop with the combat.
Yeah,
and after reviewing it for pretty hardcore for like 2 weeks, I took a break around right when it came out for everyone else, and I've sort of lost that rhythm a little bit. Kind of instinctively reacting with specific combos to specific situations. Like I had that down pat when I was like a regular on it, but now it's like I'm trying to I'll be fighting, I'll be like, okay, what was that one combo I really liked? I was like, it's this button and then this, or not combo because there's not honestly a ton of combos in this, but
I mean, the interesting thing is that a lot of the stuff that you would consider combos really just builds off of what you're already doing.
Right. Yeah. It's not combos in the conventional sense of X square up down.
Yes. It's just
it's individual attacks, how you string them together.
Yeah, it's individual attacks and then holding.
Yeah, holding. A lot of holding. One thing I'm not a huge fan of, I can see an argument for it one way or another, but there's 2 attacks in this game. There's more, but there's 2 attacks that I use where you have to pause. You pause for a split second in the middle of your combo. And I've known a couple
right there.
Yeah. I've known a couple hack and slash games to do that, and I'm not a big fan of that because I feel like that sort of like trips me up,
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like trying to sing a song where there's like a break in it, you know? You're like, whoa, you know, you kind of stumble, like psychologically.
Interesting metaphor, but yes, I understand your larger point. Alright. What is this? I don't know what...
That weakens all enemies in a radius.
Oh, yeah, I know which one that is.
Which talisman are you a fan of?
I use the one just because I got into it for... Alright, let's get some. I was stuck. Alright.
Wasted.
And I got what I wanted to get out of it.
I think this is the last guy.
I think this is the last guy.
Boom, nice.
There we go.
There you go.
You could have done that. I believed in you.
Well, yeah, no, I didn't realize I was on the timer until halfway through. But
the one I run with is it throws down a circle on the ground that diminishes the amount of damage you take and also heals you when you're standing in there once you've upgraded it.
Yeah.
I started using that for the Valkyrie fights because sometimes your health is so low that it's easiest to just kind of back off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And those you're not on a timer, you know. So,
yeah.
Yeah, definitely good to play it safe. So these keys, I looked into it back when I was playing, and then since over the week I've forgotten. What are the keys that we're collecting here do again?
The keys that you're collecting, you need a total of 3, but I think we should just play through all the base level stuff once.
Right.
When you get to the top, to the 6th sword, to unlock the extra optional challenges, I think they're like Suitor's Hidden Trials is what it's called. Suitor being the fire giant. He was in if you saw Thor Ragnarok. He was in that. He was the big fire guy. Yeah. So yeah, that's weird that there's like 2 things that are big into Norse mythology happening at the same time in our pop culture.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, there's like a hidden trial that you need to beat the 3 trials to unlock at the top, and then it's repeatable, but you have to keep going back and beating the earlier trials. And I think it might, for some of them, like mix up the enemies that you're fighting when you go back. I'm not sure.
And so you use these keys to unlock the trials.
Well, that's a surprise that I'm not going to spoil for you.
Oh, well played.
Or our viewers, because they'll get to see in a second.
So it is necessary for platinuming. So those who want to platinum wolves.
Do you have the Infinity Gauntlet item?
I do not. No, I was actually just thinking about that when we were talking about talismans. I do. Well, you know, that's a good point. I'm not positive. I have to.
It's like the Shattered Gauntlet of Ages or something.
Right. Ooh, that does a lot of stun damage. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, that's why I use it.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I like stuck with it is because it does a ton of, and it will do knockback or like interrupt attacks even on Valkyries. So that's why that's my default.
Yeah. Oh crap. That was well animated. Like it didn't miss a beat there.
Yeah. This game, I have to say, is like from a technical standpoint.
Oh, it's insane.
Does a lot of stuff really well.
It's so It's so precise, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you will see stuff like I've seen bugs where somebody's standing on like a slope and then you go into that animation when you're trying to grab wolf and beat it up, and they're like hovering in the air and Kratos is punching them in the balls or where their balls would be if they had genitals.
I've had quite a few times with what are they called, nightmares getting caught in geometry. I've had more than a couple of that, but that's the only like, and it didn't ever like bother me. It didn't like affect anything, you know. They eventually got out, so it wasn't like a problem. But
well, and also they've patched the game 17 times.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're definitely.
That's like a mild exaggeration. It's up to 1.17. I don't think there's been 17 full patches, but it's
not far off.
Significant. Like there's like every day a new patch for this game, basically. This is my favorite
animation. That is disgusting. Yeah, that is.
He just peels the werewolf.
See, okay. See, here we go again. Me not reading the stupid challenge. God damn.
Oh yeah, you haven't killed anybody.
I killed one. Come on, give me some credit.
All right, everyone. Group up. Come on. I mean, this is obviously a lost cause. Oh, they're going to stay out. Wow, what a cheese. All right.
You could maybe do it. No, probably not.
No.
2. Wolves are really easy to kill in here.
This is our streaming strategy. I play without a clue of what the challenge is.
I'm gonna let you try this one again because I don't want to do everything for you.
That's fair.
I don't want to.
Oh crap!
Take the sense of pride and accomplishment away.
Right, of course. I'll just buy the DLC that completes it for me.
So they said they're not going to do any DLC for this game, but that really bums me out because there's this, and there's another section that we probably won't play, so I'm not going to spoil that in case anybody doesn't want to know about it.
The other challenge mode?
Yeah, the other challenge mode where it's like infinitely repeatable.
Right.
I think it would be ripe for them to just expand these.
Oh, totally.
Like, I would pay $5 for like 20 just variations on this kind of content.
Yeah.
Because the combat itself is just really fun, like in the moment.
I mean, the other thing in terms of DLC potential that I find very strange is, and I don't think this is, no, I mean, I talked about this in my review, so it's not really a spoiler, is the amount, so there are 9 realms in Norse mythology, and the amount of realms that they don't use seems very strange to me. There are at least 3, possibly 4.
Yeah, but I did see an interview. Corey Barlog was on the Kotaku podcast, and he talked about that. He said that they struggled with how to present it, because they couldn't just say there aren't 9 realms.
Right.
Because there are, and you'll probably go to them in a sequel.
Right.
But they struggled to present that visually in a way where people wouldn't think like, oh, there's going to be DLC later.
Right, yeah,
So they're definitely not going to do that. He was very clear about that. But I agree that it does seem like you would expect to go to all of them.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I will say is I think this game does a really good job of being restrained. Because by the time that they got to God of War Ascension, it was like, oh, everybody's already dead.
Right.
We can't show Kratos killing anybody else. So I like the fact that you really only see a handful, I'm going to say like 4 or 5 gods over the course of the game.
Right.
A lot of stuff is kind of left up for the future. So it does a really great job of establishing the world, and like you know that these people exist in the world of the game, but you're not going to come out of the other side of this game feeling like, man, there's nothing left for them to do in the sequels. If anything, most of this world is still left to explore in the sequels. So I'm really curious to see. And they said they want to get 5 games out of this.
Yeah, which, I mean, so that's 5 games not counting this. So that's 2 trilogies, you know? I mean,
yeah.
people
I mean,
were
the
saying,
obvious
like,
thing is eventually Atreus is probably going to grow up.
And take over, yeah.
And then take over with his own trilogy. That seems fair.
Yeah. I can't figure out how it's only been 3 so far.
Because you probably haven't been paying enough attention. You probably get it.
Now it's you. I have to be in the ring, right? No, the enemies have to be in the ring. So that doesn't count?
Yeah, don't throw that wolf out.
Oh, man, this is... I blame your, whatever you call it.
Oh, my
your runic attacks.
Change them out if you think you can do better. To be honest, I think those are probably the best 2 for this challenge because they let you deal more damage in concentrated bursts, and there's an area of effect attack.
Yeah,
I will say, man,
I've forgotten a lot of combos.
I will say, man, you're a pretty bad dad. You don't let Atreus shoot a lot of arrows.
No, I used Atreus very little actually.
My favorite thing about that in the game is if you don't use him in a fight, he'll be like, I can do more next time.
Right, yeah, he's like, I can help.
So the character is probably sad that you don't care.
Yeah, well, you know.
You're actively making this boy's life worse.
Yeah. He can handle himself.
Do you want to have kids someday?
That seems like a weirdly personal question to ask on a live stream.
I'm just curious if you're going to be this mean to your real son.
I mean, ideally, I wouldn't take my son out to kill Nordic beasts.
Yeah, but you're going to play games with him, and you're going to be playing co-op games with him, and you're going to just be like, just stand in the corner, boy.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I would hope that my son would be a little more, you know. I think Atreus does a good job of doing his own thing, you know.
I guess. But you're definitely not specifically requesting he help with anything.
No, I'm not. I mean, he doesn't do a lot of damage, you know, and like that's sort of.
I don't know. It's pretty significant chip damage if you just like spam the arrows. I don't know what upgrades you have for him, but if you wait till he has all 4 arrows and you rapid fire him,
yeah,
it can do like a pretty good amount of damage. And like with the lightning arrows, it'll chain between enemies and it lasts a pretty long time. So I find in my playthrough at least, it was pretty effective to just keep those on rotation. Just keep an eye on when all of them were up again. And then just keep going at it. I have to say, though, it does make me like feel very unsatisfied whenever I'm fighting an enemy and Atreus finishes him off.
Right, yeah. It's like, that was mine, you little
That was
bastard.
my kill, boy.
Come on.
Yeah, but as far as, like, AI companions in a game go, and as far as like small children in a game go,
no, he's really well implemented. Definitely.
He's not annoying.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a section of the story in which he does get annoying, but I think he's.
Oh, when he's a little prick. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a section where he's just like, I'm going to be an asshole for.
Yeah, that was a little much, but
the next hour.
I get the point. I get the in a storytelling sense. No, bring him in here, you little bastard.
But I think it says something that you're like sad that he's being an asshole.
Right? Yeah, because you liked him when he wasn't an asshole. Yeah, exactly. Stay in here. There we go. Please don't. That probably doesn't count. I wonder if it counts if you start then it, and probably nope, it doesn't.
No, because you did the same thing when you threw the wolf out.
Right. I gotta stop doing knockback attacks.
Yeah, if you cleave them, if you do your R2 hold.
Yeah.
It's a good
finish.
finish.
Well, it kicks him out though.
That's only if you don't finish him.
Right. Yeah.
If you finish him.
Oh, that was weird. That started as a normal attack and ended as a. Oh, I'm gonna get you in here.
That started as an excuse and then didn't end.
Yeah, basically. Man, I don't.
All right, you got a lot of people that are low. So
I know, like I
crowd them all in the ring and then use the runic attack that you hate. You just gotta wait for him to be in.
Yeah.
That's 2. Get it.
Yeah. Get it. Oh, really? I've never seen that. I've never seen an enemy sidestep like that. That was crazy.
You just got swerved.
Will that kill you? Yes. Okay.
I have to say, when I was hearing everybody like, because I didn't play this until after it was already out. I pre-ordered it on Amazon, just like the rest of the public.
Right.
So I kind of like heard a lot of. I tried not to read reviews, but I heard a lot of stuff that was like, yes, this game actually is what it set out to be, which is kind of a more mature take on the franchise that gets rid of some of the annoying childish stuff from the previous games. But I thought that would mean that it was less like gratuitous violence. It's still a pretty gratuitously violent game.
I would argue that it's not nearly as violent as previous games though.
Well,
Previous games
there was
you're
stuff where
ripping
it felt
humans in half. I mean, that's not really something you do much in this, you know.
Yeah, there's a handful.
Oh my god, I can't talk in game at the same time. It's just not one of my skills. Like I wasn't even looking at the stupid clock.
Get that. All right, so I'm taking over. Let's just show how it's done.
Yeah, really.
Where's my first ring? It's always back here, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the game is about Kratos being a little more human, and I think that comes across. You know, I think he's definitely
but stuff like when you, I know that they're not human, but still, when you like rip somebody's in half or like
right, yeah. But I think the difference between the fact that you don't do that to humans,
I guess there are certainly times when in the old games when you would like go out of your way to be super mean and like kill a human to solve a puzzle when you probably didn't need to.
Yeah, the one that comes to my mind the most is I think it's God of War 3, where there's this woman who is like trapped in a cage, and so you take her out and you like.
Take her out on a date.
You take her
dinner,
you take her out of the cage
drinks.
And you like attach her to a gear to hold it open so you can get through a doorway before it closes. But the gear crushes her into mush, and that's just something you do. Like you go situate her, go do your puzzle. It like crushes her. You come back and she's literally a pile. She's just like a puddle of blood. and it's like it's completely psychotic, and you're like, who am I supposed to root for in this game again?
No, and definitely there are times when, like, even if it's a god that you're fighting, I remember in, like, God of War Ascension, I want to say, you're definitely, like, just doing a ton of violence towards women.
Yeah.
In, like, really disturbing ways.
Yeah.
That's certainly...
I mean, he's not a rapist. I mean, right? I think that's fair to say.
No.
So he's not completely...
He's not the worst possible human being he could be, or god he could be.
He's not completely devoid of morals, but...
I will say, he's a demigod, right? They never really bring that up. But Zeus is his dad, but he has a mortal mother.
Mortal mom, yeah. No, he's like Hercules.
Yeah, but they never, like, use the word demigod. I know it's not demigod of war.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess... God of War. I mean, he was the literal God of War.
That was his job title,
right,
so to speak.
But I guess did he? And I've played all the God of War games, but I don't follow like the wiki, and like I'm not super like intimately involved with the narrative. Like, I wonder, were his powers enhanced by becoming the God of War? Or
it's been so long at this point, and this is I played like the PSP games, back in the day.
The PSP games, that was just side stuff.
Yeah, like, it was like not important.
Like he has
but I played basically every. Actually, I've still never played God of War 2, which is very strange because I've played Ascension. I think I reviewed Ascension for us. Never touched God of War 2.
I played the hell out of Ascension.
Did you play the multiplayer?
I played the multiplayer like non-stop for 3 months.
That's weird because I think you might have been like the only person that played the
multiplayer. There was a moderate niche audience for that, and
I guess it's similar to what is that game, God Hand? Maybe I think I've heard that it's a little bit similar to that.
I know of God Hand, but I don't know I don't know how to play is.
I don't know. I know that there's some game that was like similar to, but it always struck me as a very weird game to put multiplayer in.
Yeah. No, I mean, but that's the thing. I think it was an original idea, and honestly, I think it worked amazingly. Like you say the phrase third person hack and slash fixed camera multiplayer, and that just sounds absurd, but it worked amazingly, and it was like so much fun. However, I will say that if you can believe it, I would hazard to say that no game I've ever played has made me more angry than God of War Ascension multiplayer.
It fueled your Spartan rage.
Like, it really did. Like, it was so much fun, but when things when things don't go your way, like, there's just nothing on earth that's more frustrating. And another thing, it was an extremely poorly balanced game where there was one that you aligned with one of 4 gods. And that's what dictated like your powers and your weapons and everything. And there was one, I think it was Ares, who like the Ares loadout was just objectively better in every way than all the other loadouts, and it was complete nonsense.
Well, he is the titular character.
No, he is. Yeah. So perhaps it makes sense, but it was frustrating. Good game though, without a doubt.
So are you? I know we let you review this because you're Greek. Are you 100% Greek?
No.
Are you part Norwegian? Because that would be perfect.
I'm not, unfortunately. Technically, I'm a little more Irish than I am Greek, but I'm like...
Well, you got the name, right?
I'm like...
Plessis is a Greek name?
Yeah. Plessis is like Smith in Greece. Here we go.
I gotta save that.
Yeah, I'm like 60% Irish, 40... So if God of War ever goes to Celtic myth, then I'm
there actually is a tease for a few different mythologies, and I believe one of them is Celtic.
Really? I've never thought of Celtic myth as anything particular.
Well, the interesting thing is there's even a character in here who the game would appear to imply originated in Celtic mythology and then traveled.
I'm trying to... Can you give me a hint without spoiling it for the audience?
He spends most of the game with you.
Oh, good point. No, see, that's interesting because
I saw a thing online. I'm not going to make it out of this alive.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Yeah, this is with those quick ass guys and this big ass guy.
I don't have enough health.
I bet this part's tricky to do in a.
If I had my gear set up, I probably could, but I'm like not familiar with what my specific bonuses are.
This is the gear set I was wearing when I was playing 2 weeks ago, so I don't even know what my skills are. Like, it's, I definitely want to get back into this because I needed a break, but now I'm ready to platinum. So you don't have all the collectible stuff, right?
I'm platinum. I will admit that I ended up looking
platinum?
up like maybe 10% of the collectibles because I was just like,
yeah,
I don't want to walk through, because some of the backtracking is quite annoying in the sense that it's not like an open world game where you can just travel freely between each area. It still very much feels like a Metroidvania kind of experience where you have to complete some of the same annoying traversal stuff every single time you want to go back to a particular location, which can be a little bit frustrating. And so I was just like, there were a few times when I like wandered through everywhere I thought a particular collectible could be and then did not find it. And I was just like...
Now, for things like Odin's Ravens, there is an indicator on the world map that tells you how many are in the area and how many you found.
Yes, but it won't tell you specifically where they are.
Where they are, right, yeah. But it'll tell you how many are missing.
There's not like, you can't get like a map.
Right.
For that kind of stuff. Whoops, should have dodged that.
That was deceptive of him. He was like looking the other way and he whips around. He's like, psych!
Is that gonna count? Yeah. Oh, on the border, didn't count.
Did you manage to find all the treasure spots without...
Yes, I did find all of because there's like treasure maps, which is my favorite feature in any game. I think the first game I saw to do this is Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
But basically, instead of just like a lot of games, you'll get a treasure map, it'll show you like mark a spot on the map, and it's just like, go here and do this.
Yeah.
This, like Red Dead, essentially shows you a picture of where the thing is with like a clue as to where it might be located, but it's up to you to actually
recognize where on the map that is. Yeah.
I think I might actually do this.
It'll do like a land. Oh yeah! Wow, nice.
I was pretty almost dead there for a minute, but there we go.
There you go.
I'm carrying today.
You are, yeah.
Here, you get the reward.
You do all the challenge, I'll just open the boxes.
I mean, I feel like that's a good metaphor for the themes of fatherhood in this game, right? Because you do all the hard work and your kids...
and he gets the rewards.
Your kids get all the rewards.
Have you made anything with the... So you said you are platinum. Like, you have
I did get platinum, and then I went back because I just liked playing the game so much.
Right,
so I went back and I did more of this kind of stuff because there was some high-level armor that I wanted to upgrade fully. But the sad thing is, there's nothing I can do with it. If the game had, like, a New Game Plus, I could take all that stuff into the Give Me God of War mode.
Yeah.
And then I would feel a little bit better about, like, continuing to upgrade it and get the highest level stuff.
Yeah. No, that's definitely my single biggest complaint on the game right now.
I can see why it wouldn't necessarily work because of the way that it gates you off from some stuff. There's some stuff that it would have to take away from you to keep the progression of the game going. Because this is very much Metroid Castlevania.
Right, where there's backtracking routes that...
Yeah, and then it specifically tool. Sometimes will prevent you from progressing in the story by not giving you access to certain things.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy, though. I mean, they could just be like... They could literally just put up a window message being like, you cannot access this yet, or something kind of contrived, but...
they just need to parse it out so that, like...
Do you remember where I'm supposed to go? Or is that it? No, that's not the top.
This one? Wait, turn around. Yeah, this is the thing you do after it, I think. Not before.
I climbed up there, which means I'm going up here. Right.
Yeah, okay. That's the one weird thing about this is that those are fast travel points that you just saw, if any of you are unaware. And they put all the fast travel points in weird spots for this challenge thing.
Right.
Like, sometimes you'll fast travel back and they'll still make you climb.
Yeah.
Just to be mean. I guess it makes it more atmospheric.
There's definitely a little bit of backtracking that gets on your nerves sometimes. Like, thinking of the other kind of challenge mode. You know, the sort of entrance to the challenge mode. If you want to go from the Midgard, which is like the base open world, if you want to go from Midgard to the start of that challenge mode, it's like 5+ minutes of just like walking and kind of, animations and stuff. And it's like, And
I have to say, there's some stuff that's kind of annoying because there are like the earliest regions of the game, you get the ability to go back, but they're no longer connected to the rest of the game. Right. So you can get like, especially because a lot of stuff is about you opening shortcuts that enable you to like skip sections of the level. So I went back to look for some collectible stuff in like the second area of the game, the Wildwood's Edge. And I didn't realize that I couldn't like go between that and the rest of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
There's paths that are blocked off. And because it had been so long since I was there, I didn't remember like what the actual order of progression was.
Right.
So I was just like going in circles for a little bit, trying to figure out where the start and where the end was and if I had seen everything to look for collectibles. It was a little annoying.
Yeah.
I would like it better if there was still like a clear linear path for some of that stuff when you're backtracking. Because the game does make you backtrack. You cannot get every collectible on your first time through every area.
No. Well, and I think as far as that starting area that you're referring to, like that, you know, that's not... You can explore it, but it's not strictly speaking part of like the open world. Like
no, it's completely disconnected.
Right? Yeah, it's sort of like the game's intro sequence.
But it does make you go back there, and it's not even like you can walk from your house to where the end of that intro section.
Where the hell did he?
He just phased through the wall.
Disappeared. There's one of the slight little glitches we were talking about, but
I forgot to say, I actually had the worst one I've had. Is you fought the Valkyries. You know the attack they do where they fly up into the air and then land on top of you. Yeah. And there's a little quick time event where you have to get out.
Right.
I had that happen where the game bugged and there was no Valkyrie on top of me.
Oh wow! But you were still stuck in the animation.
So I was in Spartan Rage mode. I think I might have actually set it off by triggering Spartan Rage mode at the exact right time where it knocked the Valkyrie back at the moment it locked her into the animation. Yeah. So I was still taking damage, but I was not taking damage because my rage was still going down.
Right, okay, yeah.
So it was just like 5 solid minutes, not that long. But it was like a solid minute of me just getting wailed on by an
invisible woman. Yeah.
It's quite entertaining. And the only like really messed up thing I saw, it's pretty polished. Especially for a game so big.
Yeah, and just like so detailed. You know, another thing I was thinking just like yesterday, like it loads really fast too for like the level of detail and the size and everything. Like it's actually got a really good loading time. Oh, that guy had a win.
You mean like when you load in at the beginning?
Yeah, like loading in any phase.
Because for the most part you don't really load. It does a good job of disguising.
Right. Yeah.
When it's loading, there's one section, and I'm not going to talk about any story content for the purposes of not spoiling anything. Right. But there's like one thing where it's obviously loading and you're just waiting around for something to happen.
It's
the equivalent of like that section in Assassin's Creed games where you're running through the Animus,
right?
But a lot better integrated into the game instead of just being like,
ooh, that was awesome. I've never seen that killing animation before.
Yeah, I've seen that a bit when you're doing these, what are they called, worms or something, WYRM.
Yeah.
I've done it a few times, but I'm not sure what you're ripping off of them for the stun animation.
It's like their poison sac.
But that doesn't seem like it should be fatal. I don't know. Like compared to like.
I mean, you're ripping their neck out. It looks like. I would imagine that's fatal.
I guess I'll get a good look at it because you have to do that here.
Yeah, really. What the hell? Oh right, these guys.
Yeah, I think they have like a little bullfrog throat or something.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's their neck. Yeah, it's like a little sack.
I mean, that's weird. I just think that they should still be a little bit alive compared to some of the stuff you do to people.
Right, yeah. You gotta assume some of these things are pretty durable.
And just like all the other stun finishers that you can do are just pretty savage. Like,
yeah. Let's see.
Like this one, just curb stomping him, head explodes.
I will say this isn't a problem, but it would be kind of nice if maybe like each enemy had like two different animations. Yeah, because like there's some enemies that are simply more common than others, and you end up seeing the animations a lot. Like
that's true, but I mean, if you're Kratos, if you have a good method, why mess with it, right?
I guess, yeah, if it works. There you.
I like this one because you can aim it. Oh no, not this one.
The one where you throw the one
where you throw.
You can? I didn't know that.
You can rotate the camera to aim it when you're in that animation. So if you get one of those, give it a shot.
Now, can you throw it at other enemies
Yes.
besides? Really? So it leaves. So how does that work?
So
Because
it locks in the camera for a little bit when you're charging it up. I think this guy you should get it on, right?
No, it's because his isn't sharp. It's the ones with the sharp spears. These are like the next level ones that you just beat into the ground.
I'm just gonna be honest. All Dark Elves looked alike to me while I was playing the game. I know that sounds really racist, but
I'm disappointed in you.
the only way that I can usually tell is there's like the boss guy that's in charge of stuff, and I can only tell because he has different attack patterns.
Right.
But for the most part, did not notice there was a substantial difference until right now.
Nice.
I gotta say, also they do a pretty good job just with the actual designs of all the enemies.
Yeah.
They all look like they might be from different realms, but they kind of like have a very similar grammar.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and that's something I talked about in my review. Is like one of the things I just love about God of War games is the way they take like just like the craziness and in some cases incomprehensibility of historic mythologies and turn it into something that's like that you can understand, but is also fairly faithful, you know, to
yeah, this I would say a little bit less than the Greek stuff.
Definitely, but I mean, if for anyone like that knows anything about Norse mythology, like this I don't know how much we can swear on streams, but this stuff is insane, to put it politely. Like Norse mythology is some most convoluted nonsense.
And it's also weird because we don't know a lot about it. There's like 3 texts that survive compared to like Greece, where they were writing everything down, and there's like a huge amount of scholarship on it. Norse mythology is very like vague.
It is.
Like they get into this in the game a little bit, and then I was looking at it later.
This is the guy I can aim at.
But they talk about how there's basically 2 figures in Norse mythology records, Frigg and Freya,
right?
Who we're pretty sure are the same person, but we're not entirely sure.
Yep.
So you run into a lot of stuff like that with Norse mythology. So there's a lot more gaps for them to fill in. Like, who was Loki's parents is a thing that like the texts disagree on. Yeah. So like,
oh yeah. Did I throw it somewhere else?
So yeah, you can if you time the rotation right.
Oh, okay.
You can make it so that you throw them into enemies.
Interesting.
It does look weird. It's a little jank looking.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I noticed the object kind of flew out of his hand for a second, but yeah, I remember. Yeah, I was looking at just like a bunch of different random characters while I was reviewing the game. Oh, I have way more charge. What am I? Oh, I'm wasting it. I thought that was it. I was looking at just random characters, and like I know Loki in one of the texts gives birth to a horse. So like there's some speculation on
I think it's a wolf, but yes. No, so Loki could maybe turn into a woman. I think
maybe.
I think he births Fenrir. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Fenrir is the wolf that pulls the sun. But yeah, I looked at that too. There's like a lot of really weird stuff.
And then like and he's supposed to be like the father of the world serpent, and like it's weird stuff. It's just so weird. But it got him out of bed in the morning, so who are we to judge?
But like I said before, the amazing thing is the amazing thing is how much stuff they leave for the sequels.
Right, yeah.
Because you see only a handful of people, and most of them are still in play by the end of the game.
Coming into it, I will, and I don't want to, I don't want to say this is a failing of the game, but like there are definitely some people you expect to see that you don't.
And then one you only see a teeny bit.
Did you see the final thing? Yeah. So that for anyone who is in the middle of the game right now, after you beat it, go home. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. And it's like that's fine because we know there are more games coming, but
Well, but at the same time, I think that it's probably one of the strengths of this game that it doesn't feel like they went out of their way to include as much stuff as possible. So you're trying to throw it at somebody? See?
Yeah, okay, nice. That's cool. Now, does that other guy still die?
The first guy, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a finisher, he's dead regardless.
Right, okay.
But I think it's to the benefit of this game that more so than pretty much any other video game I've ever played, maybe like The Last of Us. And I think it says something about how good Sony Studios are at doing narrative games these days. It has a very clear simple objective, and that's what the story is really about.
Right.
You encounter the gods and stuff because there are obstacles on the way to that. Like, you're forced to do all this stuff.
Right.
But the scope of the game is not Kratos is trying to kill all the gods again.
Right.
The scope of the game is Kratos is doing a very personal thing.
Yeah.
That
it doesn't
him.
cater to what you would expect needs to be included.
Because the problem is that the original God of War was... The whole point of the first game was you have to kill Ares.
Right.
And then the whole thing after that was like a long, slow road to killing Zeus. And then God of War Ascension was we have to make another God of War game.
Right, yeah.
I don't even remember what the story of that was.
That was a prequel about right after you got your blades. Like the Fates messing with you.
What was the... Yeah, it was the Fates.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Or no, the Furies? Because the Fates were God of War 2, right? And I didn't play that.
No, the God of War 2 was the Titans. Was you recruiting the Titans?
Oh no, wait! I'm thinking of the second Prince of Persia game where you kill the Fates.
It's all the same.
Man, Greek mythology a little played out.
Really. Well, I mean,
Prince of Persia did have the straight up Fates in it though.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never played
that was I think at least one of the Fates or something. It was the second one.
Yeah.
But there was some like weird other mythologies in there.
Interesting. Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe the Fates are in Persian mythology too.
Boom. Okay. That was an easy one, just because it took a while, but it was very rhythmic, and once you just pull out your fists, it's like pretty straightforward. Sure. Might be a good time to call it though. What do you think?
Yeah. What's the time of day?
Seems to finish up. Finish up right.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got. I want to see if I got the Gallarhorn.
No, you know what we should do, because we've already spoiled it, is just real quick fast travel to the Valkyrie and show people how hard it is.
Okay, yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah, and because the thing with the Queen is she's sort of like an amalgamation of all the other ones that you fight.
Yeah, so the hardest part of the Valkyrie fights is basically you're probably going to have to die a few times just to learn the attack patterns of each one. And then by the time you go
I'm blanking. How do you fast travel? Oh, right.
You have to walk to the thing.
Right, okay.
Been a while since you played it.
It has.
Okay.
No, this way probably.
That might be faster.
Yeah.
Because you're at almost at the top, and there's
a little bit of hex silver. What kind of father takes his son through this? By the way, that's just bad parenting.
Well, the whole game is just bad parenting.
Yeah, that's true.
To be honest, he is certainly imperiling the boy's life.
Yeah. For a quest that is kind of not that paramount, of paramount importance. But,
Kratos is a man of his word, though.
I guess.
Yeah. So when you gotta go back to the shop.
Oh right. Okay.
And then
run.
Transfer realms. So this is, I guess, since we're showing it, I'll just say this is the only time that it feels like the game is loading.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're just running through the world tree and if you stand put, the doorway appears right in front of you.
Yeah, it's based on time. It's not based on you can just run a circuit of this thing because it's just one big circle.
Yeah.
It basically is just telling you to wait. You definitely and I totally admit to this when it. Oh, I've never had it appear behind me before.
No, I think it's because you had the camera rotate slightly and it didn't know which way you were.
I definitely, first few times I did this, thought it was based on you had to run the length, but then I just put the controller down one time and I was like, oh, okay, clever. You clever girl.
It's basically the only way that they could keep the thing where the camera doesn't ever break, except it whites out when you walk through those things.
Right.
Without having, without allowing you, still allowing you to fast travel. Because otherwise they would have had to have been well, I guess we're just going to make the game really unpleasant.
Yeah. So this is sort of what I was talking about before of the realms that you can't access. Yeah. So yeah, it's just realm unavailable.
That's the home of the Vanir. That's the home of the giants.
Yep. And then Alfheim, you can go there. You can go there.
Alfheim.
And then the only other one you can't go to, I think,
Svartalfheim.
Which
so that's
I'm not sure
the land of the dwarves / dark elves, I think,
or
something.
Well, no, the dark elves and the light elves are in...
Yeah, but I think they have this whole discussion in the game. I think Svartalfheim means home of the dark elves, but it's not accurate.
Right.
I don't know if that's a change from the original mythology.
I do remember that conversation.
But then you can't go to Asgard.
And then can't go to Asgard.
But that's got to be the last game in the saga where you show up in
game
Asgard and just pound everybody.
Nilfheim you can go to, and Nilfheim is the other challenge room, which we won't get into if you want to experience.
But it's a really
yourself.
Interesting idea.
It is, yeah. It's a clever little thing that
And then Midgard is the one in the center, so you have to press a different button to go there.
Yeah, Nilfheim, it's an interesting way to incentivize multiple runs of it, you know.
Yeah, it's like a whole separate progression system for the end game that it introduces.
Right.
I wish it lasted longer, because I breezed through it a
I
little
did
bit,
it pretty quickly.
and there's really like you can get one set of armor and then upgrade that armor, and then some of the other upgrades require resources you can only get there. Yeah. But it's not as deep as I think it could.
It doesn't demand, it doesn't demand a bunch of time.
But I would love if they did like just a DLC that was just all about that.
Yeah.
And making that bigger and better.
I mean, I respect Cory Balrog for committing to his decisions, but like, I have a feeling if there's enough demand for it, you know, someone's not going to be like, we'll just.
Well, I will say, I have it on good authority. They're already working on the next game.
Oh yeah, no, I have no doubt. If they're going for
like they're already in production.
Yeah. Like Barlog said that he wants a 2-year cycle for the next games, so I would imagine they'd have to be already working on it. But I mean DLC, you know, that's still for modern day development studios like
no,
new
you can't
game.
Fast travel.
What?
Fast travel.
Oh right. No, we're gonna walk. We're gonna walk all the way.
No,
where are we going?
Because that
again?
spoils more of like other
right.
stuff about the world.
Yeah,
I think if you're just limiting it to a few sections,
yeah, I feel you.
It's better for people who care about that sort of thing. So I hadn't seen him say 2 years, but that makes sense. But I guess the question is the next one going to be on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5? It's up. Up.
Yeah,
I'm just
gonna do this. That's easier.
Right there.
Yeah, because I knew where it was. I wasn't sure.
Oh, you were scrolling through the menu.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's good. Maybe a. Because if I had to bet, I would say, not this coming E3, but next E3, we get a reveal trailer for the next God of War, and then maybe the following spring after that. So like 2 years from like now, I could totally see the next game.
That makes sense.
That's what they did for the last God of War trilogy. You know?
Yeah,
it was 2 years, 2 years.
They definitely said that the whole reason why this game took 5 years to make is because they were trying to get the technology to a place where it could support them making sequels faster.
Right. Yeah.
I
think what you just said, that interview where he talks about that, is what I was referencing when I think he said he aims for 2 years. Yeah.
But so this is the fight.
So this is the Valkyrie Queen, who you unlock her after beating all. Holy crap! What? Okay, what are her?
You gotta cheese that shield, man.
Right. No, I know. Oh, I don't even have a weapon out. There we go. Okay. All right. What is this attack?
So that one you can.
Oh crap! No.
Oh, back off.
Yeah, I like that. Ah.
So yeah, if any of you haven't played yet and you're just looking to get a feel for the combat, the red attacks you have to dodge. The yellow attacks you can deflect. So that's what those circles mean.
I will say, like, one thing about like the older Valkyrie attacks or older Valkyrie boss fights is like once you get the rhythm, you feel like a badass, you know? Just
that
like
is
the
true.
way...
Because the choice is either you lose like half your health through the whole fight,
right,
or you die. Like either you're doing really, really well and going huge sections of the fight without taking a single hit, or you don't make it.
Right. What is this attack? Oh, okay. Honestly, those up in the air and then down attacks used to get me all the time, and the two that I've dodged have just been complete dumb luck. What? Whoa, I don't remember that attack. What the hell? What is happening? I don't want to die.
And then just look at the bottom to look at how little of...
I got this.
How little of the health is going.
Yeah, right, yeah. Look at her health compared to mine right now. Holy hell. Wait, oh, right, I can't take damage. No. I will win. Screw you.
So this is, I would say, based on my experience, the hardest combat challenge in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you have max level armor, it's not easy.
Right, yeah. Oh, right. Crap. I forgot I have to, I'm not even going to bother with my Resurrect Stone. I forgot you have to throw your axe when she does that.
Or you can have Atreus hit arrows.
See, yeah, I don't use that little bastard. Like, I don't know. I should, though. I should.
You should. I feel like that's like an oversight in your technique.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I guess for the sake of completion, I'll give it one quick try.
All right.
Lose almost immediately.
Yep.
And I have beaten her,
Yeah.
just for the record. So I should theoretically know everything.
I mean, there's so many though. You know,
Yeah,
there's
that's the thing,
such
is that
an
at this point
obscene
there's
amount
so
of
many
attacks.
different
Yeah.
attacks.
Yeah, because like, for the most part, so there's 8 Valkyries, and for the most part, each one has like at least kind of one unique attack. And she just uses them all. Like,
Yeah, and there's stuff where there's attack patterns that are very similar to other attack patterns.
right.
But
That contribute
like,
up, yeah.
there's clearly a tell if you're paying enough attention.
Right.
How this one is different from that one. But I should have dodged
wrecked.
that.
Yeah, you should have.
I think my angle was off is the problem, or I was just a little too late.
Sounds like an excuse.
It is an excuse. That is 100% an excuse. And like the crazy thing is, there's attacks where you can only dodge in one direction.
Yeah.
Like if you dodge in the wrong direction.
Yeah. See, even now, her attack patterns have been
Like there's
profoundly
very
different
little,
than when
because
I
that was a completely different spin attack than the
right
one that
than
you
what
saw.
she did on me. Yeah, yeah. So it's like it's not even the kind of thing where you can memorize like from the last fight. Like you have to memorize the entirety of her moveset.
It's just brutal.
It's crazy.
It's
hard.
brutal.
Yeah.
All right, so
Wrapping up.
I guess we still need to get good.
We're not there yet, but it's a process. So thanks for joining us. I'm Nick. That's Josh, and we're EGM.